Hello, everybody, and welcome. Good to see so many faces. Let's just give it a minute more and we'll just admit everybody in and then we'll be on our way to start. So, welcome, everybody. And before we get started on the main part of today's discussion, first of all, it's good to see all of you. It must be morning, evening, late night in different parts of the world. Uh, Before we get started, we have a little small video, a portion of which we'll be playing now. So over to you, Lars. You can get started and then we'll dive straight into the talk.
We as women have come so far. And I am so proud and so grateful to be a woman. Because despite the adversities that we have faced and the inequalities that we have experienced, we continue to push forward and achieve great heights.
This Women's Day, a day where we remember that the basic rights that we enjoy today, some day ago, were not so obvious and were not so basic. So thank you to all those women who fought for rights, for workers, for social rights, and it's not lost to me that there's so much to do.
I am grateful to be a woman because we are powerful, dynamic, beautiful, and strong.
I'm grateful to be a woman, especially in these times. I'm incredibly inspired by the women around me, the astronauts, the prime ministers, the presidents, the leaders around the world who are women. As a mother, I'm able to influence and inspire the next generation of both men and women. Thank you.
I'm so grateful to be a woman because more than ever before in the world, women are breaking stereotypes and leading change in their families, in their communities, and in their countries. I am so grateful to be a woman and to be part of this movement. Thank you and happy Women's Day.
We're here at the biggest hospital in the south of Chile. We're in the middle of the pandemic, showing our strength, our leadership, our knowledge, and our bravery. Great regards to all our Melton family in this important day.
And I think it's a day where we all really can be reminded on the beauty of nature and the power of growth, which is inherent in all of us as ladies together. So let's stay connected, let's join forces and be very, very happy and well. All the best to you all. Bye-bye.
I'm grateful to be a woman because all over the world, women are making significant changes in their societies. Recently, Ngozi, who is from Nigeria, was chosen as the Director General for World Trade Organization. And for me, that was very impressive that a woman could rise up to that level to become one of the world leaders. I'm also grateful to be a woman because women play a vital role in the continuation of generations. Without women, I doubt we would have had the smartest people in the world. Women play a vital role in bringing forth people, and I'm very grateful that I can also contribute to making societies better.
It's an honor to be a woman in this world, and that is the way that we perceive things in general, the way we experience things that makes us very different from men, and that is something that, as a complement, when we work in something together, both genders, it is amazing the type of solutions or the type of energy or ideas that come out of those interactions.
I know that all of us do a very great job for our near and dear ones, especially in this pandemic, and thus for society. And in my opinion, we have to get much more credit for this. So here's my credit to all of you. You do a great job.
Thank you, Lars. I think that's a pretty nice, impressive video from all our friends around the world. And there is a lot more in that video, which you can watch. We will be sharing that link. We just didn't want to inundate you with so many conversations from so many lovely women of the Melton Foundation across the world. But welcome everybody to this wonderful day. And this, I'm glad that so many of you have taken the time and actually come for this town hall. For those of you who may not know who I am, I'm Meeta. I live in India right now. And besides all the varied experiences I have through leadership and entrepreneurship, I think today I'm a part of an organization that's doing a lot of work in the emotional and mental health space. But besides all of that, I think the most important thing that I'd like to highlight is that over my number of years of being, I have always wanted to be that strong voice in organizations I have worked in, which were largely led by men. I have challenged the status quo, and I'm very proud of the fact that people like us exist, and all of you are here to participate in such an important event. Of course, I've been a fellow of this wonderful organization called the Melton Foundation for a number of years. And for those of you who are new to the Melton Foundation, I think I want to tell you that this is a lovely and amazing organization that is focused on creating global citizenship. You might ask, what is global citizenship? Well, it is really about getting like-minded people from different parts of the world to come together and collaborate in solving some of the real and relevant global problems today. I think the MF has been in existence for over 30 years. We have probably 500 fellows across the world, and we are connected, and I think we're growing exponentially because it's not just the fellows, but we like to bring the broader communities around into all the projects that we do. Well, before we get started today, I know today is Women's Day, a day that I truly wish never had to exist. I had a little something that I wrote that I wanted to share. I wish the world was equal. I wish the world was fair. I wish we did not have to celebrate days like today with such zest and fanfare. I wish we tried instead to really challenge our core. I wish we had the strength to confront this status more. I wish there were no words such as a he or a she. I wish the world would just let people be, let people be. So on that note, I'd like to introduce two lovely and amazing speakers. Before we get started, just a little bit of hygiene is, it would be great if all of you are on mute. If you want to ask questions, you can always post them on the chat window, and we will have a little bit of time towards the end to address most of them. So on that note, let's get started. I have two lovely distinguished guests and friends out here. The first one is Carla Araya. She is the mother of Maximo, the life partner of Benjamin. She's a biotechnologist with a master and PhD in science and natural resources. She's also been a co-founder of Inclusive App. She's been a lecturer in charge of a lot of interesting courses such as Science in Quarantine, Plant Tissue Culture at the Proenta UFRO, a program for children and youth with academic talents. She has extensive experience in project management, social entrepreneurship, and scientific research. So a big warm welcome, Carla. Glad to have you on the show.
Thank you.
With her today, yeah, hi, Carla. We also have another very, very interesting woman, Cynthia. She is a women's rights, gender equality activist from Kenya. And she's the founder of Life Lifters Kenya, a women mentorship incubator that seeks to build the next generation of economically empowered women in Africa. Wow. She's a graduate from the Ashesi University in Ghana with a bachelor's degree in management information. She's of course a Melton Foundation fellow, and she is actually one of the first community impact fellow from 2018. So welcome, Cynthia, and so happy to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Right, and of course we have a lot of the Melton fellows and non-Melton fellows out here. A big warm welcome to you. And without taking too much time, over to you, Carla, for the conversations and experiences that you'd like to share with us about your life.
Okay, perfect. I will share my screen. Let me know if you see it correctly. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so as this, thank you for the presentation, by the way. Today, I hope to represent all the awesome women that I know that are here and all over the world. I feel I'm like a little grain of sand at this moment. So I will show you a little bit of who I am and why am I here. Well, this is the way of reduced mobility, a scientifically tested model. Well, who am I? I am Carla Araya. I'm from Santiago originally. I was born there. When I was 7 years old, we moved to the north of Chile. This is Chile for the ones who are not from here. I was living there in Coquimbo from around 7 years old until 18 when I was applying for university. I assisted to a normal college, but one thing you have to know is that I have reduced mobility. How this happened? Well, I was born in 1989 when Chile was in transition to democracy. There was a lot of celebration all over the country, obviously. And a medical negligence happened in that day when I was born. And I never look at that day with sadness. I always think that the person who I am right now is because all the little things that happened back, right? So I'm happy. I'm really happy to be the person who I am right now. I wouldn't change anything. So I assisted to a normal college that was a fight for my mom, another powerful woman that inspired me. And she always fought to get me in a normal school since my brain was absolutely normal. So she said, why should she be in another school, in a special school, if she's okay? So basically, I had a severe asphyxia when I was born. And that caused, obviously, a motor, and at that moment, it was cognitive. But I think things changed in that moment, and it was only motor damage. So finally, I got to a normal school and I've got to normal dreams. I was dreaming about being a scientist, and nobody took that thought out of my head. And finally, I got it. I applied to the University of La Frontera, which is around 1,300 meters from north to south. It was a big travel. And my mom always supported me. She said, okay, let's go, let's do this. It's your dream, so let's go and do this. We traveled to the south, and I studied biotechnology, which was my dream. You can see at the left, there are two pictures. This is me, and the little assistant you can see over there is Maximo. He's my son. He's the engine moving my days. And then we have two, let's say, mobility devices. We will call it Carla's mobility devices. And both, I can use it to move on my life. One day, I heard about the Melton Foundation. This is the map I saw when I knew about the Melton Foundation. Obviously, our friends from Ghana who joined later are not there because this was like 10 years ago, something like that. And I applied to the Melton Foundation, and this experience opened up my eyes completely. I went to Germany to the orientation meeting with many fellows from different countries. And this was, it was awesome. Not only for meeting another realities and other citizens from all over the world, but because I discovered in that opportunity that disability is not what I thought. I was able to travel. I was able to move myself independently. In Germany, I was able to take a train. I never did this before, at least in my country. Then, look, there was everything prepared for a wheelchair. So I never tried this before, this, this independency, you know? We were in China in 2010, and this was another kind of experience, yeah, because I was in China, I was more overprotected. It's a different culture. So I felt like they were taking care of me in the streets. The people were really kind, but a little bit overprotective. And this was also interesting to discover. You can see here, my girl says, I'm sure you are in the audience. And she was over there. We were in a train station, in a subway station. And suddenly there was no, we discovered there was no elevator over there. So I look at these stairs like with sadness in my face. And suddenly like eight, uh, 8 Chinese citizens, they came and they helped me to go down with the wheelchair and me, which is heavy. And they helped to get me down and to finally take the train. It was really nice. In 2014, we were in South Africa. And this was another nice experience. There we are with Lars and many other fellows. And yeah, from all the places that I visit, I found that I found a new description of disability. It was not the same. I was feeling more disabled or less disabled in different places. We were in South Africa, yeah, in 2014. I had the chance to be there with my mother. I think it was really significant for her also to join me on those places. And in Zambia in 2016, I had the chance to be there by my own. I decided, okay, I will do this travel by myself with nobody else to help me. And it was also also really nice experience. The people were really kind. I never felt like alone there. They were all really charming, and it was really, really nice to be there by myself. A nice story over there was that my wheelchair, I have a power wheelchair to move around. So my wheelchair break down for a reason over there in the middle of Zambia. And there were some really kind people that came with a voltimeter and any other tools, and they fixed it. I don't know how, but they fixed it. I was amazed. And there we were in a project together with the MIT, the Melton Foundation and the MIT, working on different, in my group, it was sanitary topics about contaminated water. So from these experiences in different parts of the world, when I came to Chile, every time I was flying back to Chile, I felt like emptiness, like feeling that I could do something here, for feeling myself like not in jail when I'm back because of the accessibility issues. So I found some interesting points. The first one was the uncertainty regarding the best traffic routes on sidewalks. Something as simple as that. You, as you walk on your feet, you have not probably those issues when you're moving in a wheelchair, you know. So sometimes there is a tree in the middle of the sidewalk. Also the context of accessibility in commercial or educational establishments and public spaces is unknown. You know, when I need to go somewhere else, or when I need to join my friends in a restaurant, for example, I don't know what the accessibility conditions I will find. And also, what do I take to go there? I go with my own wheelchair? What if is it far? Or what if I cannot take the public transport, for example? So there's no real-time information about public or private transport with universal accessibility. And this is not a problem just for Carla. It's for many, many, many people. So this is a newspaper from the last year, and I found this data, and it was I was amazed about the number of people that had disability in this region, not only in Chile. And we thought about solutions, and we created Inclusive App. Inclusive App is an app for people with disabilities or with people, a mother who's moving a child in a little, I don't know the name for a, can you help me, Chilean fellows? What's the name for a coche?
A carriage?
Yes, thank you. So, yeah, for people who's moving a baby in a carriage, this is something that we need also, because you also need accessibility in the streets. This is something like I was dreaming about, like, how can I move? Like knowing the accessibility in the streets by moving myself just with a cell phone and having that information in advance. So now that I have to go to a pub, for example, I don't have to think about if the pizza or the beer or the wine is good in that place, but also I have to think about the accessibility there. So that is something that I need to know in advance. I know the people that have a disability need to know in advance. So we applied to a project and we won support, financial support. I've got a team. I'm not alone on this. Remember that I am biotechnologist, a people of science, but I don't know anything about app development or any of that world. So that team supported me with that topic, and they were really, really, really empowered about giving this solution for a region in the moment. Yeah. So I was in front of different things that I never did before, like facing I don't know, the newspaper, the television, giving interviews, and yeah, many things that I was not used to do. And what's the current situation for Inclusive App? Well, now we have an MVP, and we can see in the streets, you can put the spot where you find an infrastructural disadvantage for you in the streets. I can put if it's severe or if it is minimum, and I can upload a picture of it. Same with the public transport. We are working together with many authorities here in the region to couple the GPS from the buses to our app. So we can know when is the bus with the accessible ramp coming, because not all of them have like the accessible ramp. And yeah, that's basically it's Inclusive App nowadays. Also, we found an interesting situation here about the work vacancies for people with disabilities. And we did our first commercial alliance with HK Human Capital. They are focused on headhunting, and we create this alliance so Inclusive App can give them the profile of people with disabilities that are looking for a job. So yeah, we're working together to get that and to make it more equal. In Canada, in 2017, I had the chance to travel with my mother. And in that year, I met Benjamin, which is my husband nowadays. This was really nice because as a people with disability, I was so empowered that I can do everything by myself, and I don't need anyone to join me in this life because I can do it. So I was really close to love or to find someone to trust your pathway, you know. And I met Benjamin. We were together in the laboratory. That's how we met. And we traveled for an internship in Canada, and this was also really nice. There were Canada is like a paradise for something with disability. And this is my best journey, becoming a mother. I think that the message that I wanna give you is that even if you feel in a world which is completely everything is a disadvantage for you, for me, for being a woman, for being disabled, for being different. So if it's not prepared for you, so let's work to do something to be prepared for you, you know, and just dream about it and just pursue your dreams no matter what. You can hear my child, which is like crying over there. And yeah, I became a mother, and that was my best journey. And thank you for hearing me.
Thank you, Carla. Over to you, Cynthia. That was a very, very inspiring journey, actually, Carla. So over to you, Cynthia, and then we will, if people have questions, comments, please keep posting them in the chat window.
Hi, everyone. First, I would like to say thank you so much for, having me. My name is Cynthia Mwonja. Actually, just to begin everything, I'd like to say good evening, good afternoon, good morning to wherever you are. I hope you're having an incredible day. So my name is Cynthia Mwonja. I originally come from Kenya, which is in East Africa. I am a proud feminist, sister, granddaughter, and friend. And I would like to say first, thank you and really good job to Carla for the wonderful work that you're doing in your community and, for the community that you work with. And secondly, I would like to pass my regards and to say thank you to the Melton Foundation for sort of like thinking it possible, making it possible for me to be part of this conversation. The celebration of women and their journey, the motivation, empowerment, and liberation of women. So thank you so much. Truthfully, for me, this presentation has been one of the, I'll say, toughest presentation I've had to prepare for, because I had to look intrinsically and assess why I am grateful to be a woman. So grateful to be woman. Wow, I don't know how the Melton Foundation decided to come up with that topic, but I'm glad they did. This is not to say that I'm not proud to be a woman, or rather grateful. But for me, the journey has been a long one and a tough one at the same time. Truthfully, I really hated to be a girl, honestly. At some points in my life, I really just didn't want to be a girl anymore. I was done. So for me, see, I was born in a small rural community in Kenya called Kamime. It's on the western side of Kenya. For me, I remember my childhood as a tough one because, gosh, like I really went through a tough time during that time. My parents separated when I was 2. And in March 2006, when I was just 11, I lost my mother, Lynette Oside, who is the most hardworking and empowered woman I know till today. And she succumbed to HIV and AIDS. And the truth is, life became chaotic after that. Because, you know, according to my culture, children belong to their father and not their mother. So my brother and I didn't have a mother because she was dead, but my father was never in the picture also. So during my mom's burial, I remember it vividly that my brother and I were whisked. Literally, we were grabbed and sent to my grandparents' house, where life became really hard. I know, like, most of you are asking, like, you're asking yourself, where was my father at that time? The truth is, he never called, he never sent his condolences, or he never even attended my mother's funeral. We were just left at the mercies of the culture and essentially people who didn't like us very much. So my grandparents, my step grandparents really didn't like my father. So you can imagine the kind of treatment that we got. So from like age 11, when I was 11 to 15 years old, my brother and I literally lived in hell. We were going through so much, something that, you know, most young people or most children sort of like haven't gone through. So for me, a typical day was, you know, like I'll wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, I'll clean the cow shed. There are a lot of cows. We used to keep a lot of cows. This is, you know, removing the cow dung and everything, cleaning the house. I'll clean that place, go and milk the cows, make sure that the milk is ready, clean or sweep about 3 houses in the compound, sweep the entire compound, make breakfast for the family, and then I would take the milk that I had milked the cow and go and sell it. And to take it to the shop, this shop was like 3 kilometers away, almost 2 miles, I would say, if you're counting it in terms of miles. So this was way even before I go to school. So I'm supposed to be in school by almost 7:30. I have to do all these things before 7:30 before I head back to school. So because of that, I was always late. I was always late to school. And I don't want to bore you with stories of how I used to be beaten in school every day because I was late, or the stories of how my grandparents didn't even give me soap to wash myself so that I can, sort of like clean myself up well. So for me, I always had, it was tough. I didn't want to leave at that time. And it was during this time that a cousin of mine attempted to rape me. It was during this time. And I remember feeling helpless. I remember feeling like, really, at the end of the day, I had suffered enough. I mean, it's too much to go through. So, like, I was done. For me, I had given up. So, and for the next 2 years, I'll be forced to live with the same guy in the same house. And till today, he still works scot-free, like nothing ever happened. He's still there, and no one literally believes me. I have spoken to my father about this story. He still doesn't believe me. So when I tell people that education literally saved me, sorry, 1 minute. When I tell people that education saved my life, it really did. I remember at that time I was very smart. Even after all that, I was very smart. So as a girl, I was selected to attend one of the top schools in the country. Literally, I think it has been ranked the top school in the country. It's called the Kenya High School. And this was in high school. So I moved from the village to Nairobi, which is a city, right? And I learned there, and I had my own share of struggles in high school, from being sent away from school for school fees and all that. But later on, I got a scholarship and I was able to sort of like successfully graduate from high school. And after that, I was admitted to Ashesi University on a master's card scholarship. And since then, like I've become the first girl, the first person in my community, in my extended family to ever sort of like be admitted to school and graduate. For me, the truth is, and I mean, I can come to you and tell you that, you know, I have healed, I am empowered. Yes, I am empowered, but I believe that I am still healing. I'm still learning to appreciate my womanhood. I'm still learning to sort of like heal the young girl inside me. I'm still learning how to use my voice to essentially solve problems in my community. But going back to the topic that the Melton Foundation gave out, I'm still grateful. I am grateful that I'm grateful to be a woman, because it's in my experience as a woman that I'm able to liberate other women. It's in my experience as a woman and as a girl that I'm able to connect and mentor girls in my community. I know most of you listen to my bio and they said that I run an organization in Kenya. Yes, I do. I currently run an organization called Life Futures Kenya. It's a women mentorship incubator that seeks to build the next generation of economically empowered women in Africa. What we do is we mentor girls, we incubate them. I look for girls who have similar stories like me, girls who are looking, who like their only hope is education. They're only looking at education. There's nothing else. They've gone through too much that the only thing that they have remaining is education for them to be liberated. And what I do is I take them in and we run a program called the Girls Educate Program, which essentially mentors and, you know, connects sponsors to girls. So I have sponsors who are in America, I have a few in Germany and I have a few in London who we connect to girls like this. And this sponsors essentially help these girls go through school by paying their school fees. I think I will take this moment to essentially say thank you to my sponsors like Alafia Stewart, who are essentially helping me through this journey. So for me, I am grateful that my stories, my experiences are able to liberate other women as I liberate myself in the process. So I would like to end this conversation by saying thank you. Thank you to all the Melton Fellows who continue to fight for women's rights. Thank you to the brothers and brothers who continue to protect their sisters. Thank you to mothers and fathers who are fighting for women's rights. And thank you to organizations like the Melton Foundation who continue to empower the next generation of women and continue to fight for gender equality. In a small way, you are creating a world where every woman and every girl would be proud to say that they are grateful to be a woman. We look forward to that, and thank you so much for having me. Bye.
Thank you, Cynthia. That was a very touching story, but equally more power to people like you. Very inspiring two stories, I would say. Carla, your story, and Cynthia, your story. They have just made me quite rejuvenated, and I think we're on the right track at Melton Foundation to continue on these kind of small little differences that we can make. So if any of you have questions or comments, you could, this is the time to kind of, ask them. You could maybe drop a note on the chat window and I can let you speak or ask your question if you have anything to say. Yeah, I think we have an audience that is really still stumped with the lovely stories that you guys have told us. So Cynthia, I think there's one question to you, which is what is the name of your organization again? If you could type it out on the chat window, that would be great.
Okay, will do.
Sure. So Carla, I had a question at least for you, which is that, starting out on I think when people solve their personal problems, they do a fabulously great job in creating very inspiring startups or entrepreneurial journeys. But if you had to motivate some of the people on this call to say, how could they start off on their entrepreneurial journey from you? Is there anything you would like to share?
I don't know if there's a receipt to do that, but being an entrepreneur, I mean, okay, I will be really honest. In the scientific area, it's not a good sign if you're also doing social entrepreneurship. So in my PhD program, at least, they were not like, my supervisor was not really happy for me doing this and also doing this in parallel. However, I think that if you are looking for a trouble, which is evident, like many people is having the same trouble, why not doing something? And even if you don't have the skills yourself, why don't looking for a team and trying to get the funding? And that is what we did. The first funding we got when I thought about Inclusive App, dreaming about Inclusive App, was about $2,000, which was nothing to create an app. But we we validated the problem with that money. We interviewed many people. We did focus group to demonstrate it is not only an issue for Carla, it's an issue for thousands of people in the same country. So if you are able to validate that issue, even if you don't have the skills, so join a group, join people with different skills. And even when I'm biotechnologist, I know a lot about microorganisms and viruses and many stuff, but nothing about creating an app. So just join the right people and just having the chance to transmit your idea, to empower them with that dream, and that's all you need, seriously. And funding, yeah.
Yeah, that too. Thanks, Carla. So there's another question for you, which is that I think Stefan is asking if the situation is changing truly, you feel, for people with disabilities in Chile or Temuco.
If the situation, sorry?
Has the situation started to change for people with with disabilities in Chile or Temuco?
You mean with the app, Stefan, or because we app is only nowadays we only have the MVP?
No, thank you. More generally, I was wondering. I also, when I walk through the streets, I see there's lots of barriers. There's lots of things in the road that are still not fixed, and the micros. And so I was just wondering your general perception, not only with the app, but generally, if you see that, you compared it to Canada before, that there's a positive development also that's visible in Chile or in Temuco or in Chile in general toward giving more access to people.
Yeah, there are some changes regarding the spaces for bicycles that you can use with a wheelchair. And that is something that, yeah, it's great to have that space, because it is plain and you don't have that much up and downs, and you can use it with a wheelchair, always putting your ear in case a bike is coming behind you. So you have to give a side. And yeah, about the connection with Inclusive App, it was interesting that we could joined forces with different authorities from the region, since we were incubated with Incubatech, which is a big incubator for entrepreneurship in this region. So we had the chance to use that influences and also get to the people who's taking decisions here in the region. So when you just put that topic on the table, they are saying, oh yeah, we have to fix this. Oh yeah, Carla's talking about the infrastructure in the streets, about sometimes many simple things that you can fix in the street so a wheelchair can go through, you know. So that's messages that they heard, and we were changing some little things in the region. Besides, Inclusive App is not totally online, but anyhow, we are putting this topic on the table, and that is creating some changes.
Right. Thanks. So Cynthia, I had a question for you, which is that through this, first and foremost, how are the men responding to your endeavor of starting this incubator? And have they changed their attitude towards you over these years, or what's been the story on that front?
I would say I have a bit of both, like a bit of most people, because this is the first ever initiative like this to be launched in my community. Most people don't really understand it, and for those that do, they are a bit supportive, and those that don't are really against it. So I've had instances where men have, I've called in for, let's say, for example, I mean, just to make it more real, I recently had a call with one of the school principals in the community, right? And I was trying to talk to him about supporting one of the girls that is in his school. I ended up being insulted, which ended up in me apologizing, because at the end of the day, I can bear the insults, but I am looking at the well-being of the girl. So literally, that's the experience that I go in. So it's like either they would not understand, they would try and support, but the ones that don't support are outright rude, and they will come and either insult me and say that I'm trying to sort of like brainwash the girls and all that. And for me, what I look for is not even about my feelings or me feeling hurt or anything, because if I sort of like wallow in my emotions and say, oh, I've been insulted, then I'll stop, then it becomes like one more girl is gonna suffer because I sort of chose not to go beyond my emotions. I don't know if that answers your question.
No, it does. And I think it's sad, but I think in some ways, every little step will count. But somewhere even women might have to change their mindsets to help and support you and bring their hands together. But great job.
Yeah. I mean, I think women have supported. A few of them, really, they don't understand what women empowerment is. They don't even understand what women rights is.
Correct.
So the first initial conversations that I'm giving are just basics, basically, of, you are a woman, you can be equal, you can achieve. I've had girls who think that, I don't know, I'll tell you some of the trickiest things, like, oh, they've been told if you have sex in the morning, you won't get pregnant, or if you have sex and not shower or take a shower, you won't get pregnant. Like the simple, minute basics that every single person needs to know, but they don't know. So I think that's the basic work that I am doing with these girls, I would say.
Great. Any other questions that you have? Okay, so if not, I will be sharing the link, and I think Stefan, you had to make some announcements, so over to you.
No, first of all, thank you to the three of you. Meeta, thank you for moderating. I think you could have had also a very amazing story to share. I know you have a very fascinating life, so Also, thank you to Cynthia and Carla, really to hear these perspectives from very different places of the world, and still, the struggles that women have to face today are just ridiculous in the sense that there's so much more to do. And I like really what you said, Meeta, at the beginning, that there shouldn't be an International Women's Day. I think that was really the right thing to say. What I wanted to say though is I hope I can get you excited, because we're going to have a wonderful Global Citizenship Week starting April 17th till April 26th, 25th. The thing is, with all the pandemic, we'll be pushing and always looking for new dates for our GCC. And originally we had a plan for April, and in April also we only have Melton Day. So April, of course, is not possible yet to meet either. So we'll really are hopeful to have it in October in Chile. But we thought, well, we don't just cancel, we do something online, and we use all the things that we learned over the last year and try to really make something a week long with lots of activities. So we're going to start out on the 17th with a panel on anti-discrimination, where we also look at, how after the killing of George Floyd in the last year, how can we see changes in society, or is it just a short kind of wave of empathy? Or what do we do as the Melton Foundation also to ensure that we are really trying to be coherent in what we say and what we do? Then we'll have a week with smaller activities, inter-campus, inter-hubs, and local activities. And then on the Thursday, we have a big panel about putting global citizenship into practice, which will also be a start of the Ideathon, where we remember the Climathons, Ideathons that we had organized, where we aim for 72 hours to interconnect people from all over the world to think about how they can do a positive contribution to working towards solving some of the pressing challenges. And then we'll start, we finished it off on Sunday with another nice panel. So the information is in the making, the campaign, and watch out for the links and the registrations, and we're really excited to have you all there. And thanks once again to all the women in the Melton Foundation for your incredible life, just for who you are, really.
Thanks, Stefan, and thanks everybody. I have posted the YouTube link of the video that we saw only 3 minutes of at the beginning. Thank you for all the fellows who've joined. In fact, thank you to a lot of non-fellows who've joined us and been part of this. It's been an amazing conversation. Thank you, Stefan, Patty, and everybody behind the scenes. And hopefully you will get the recording of this as well at some point in time. Thank you.